Oh yeah, you know what time it is. You know what's going on. I am your host, Cam Silver,
I am your co-host, Kyle Silver.
and welcome back to another episode of the Silver Boys Podcast.
Hey,
Oh, this week, man, oh man.
one for the history books. It definitely will go down in history as one of the craziest weeks of all time.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But before we get to all of that craziness, we're gonna pull back real quick. We're gonna go to football. We're gonna give everybody a couple minutes to, collect their thoughts and everything.
Yes,
Because then
yes.
after we're done with football,
We
oh, it's
diving
on.
right in.
It's on.
Yes, yes.
We got some things to talk about. But in football wise, so this week is the big game. As everybody knows, everyone's getting prepared for it. But before we get to what's going on in the big game down in the Big Easy, we're going to talk about some things that have been happening off the field. So Chicago is hiring Eric Bieniemy as their running back coach. Chip Kelly is leaving Ohio State to become the offensive coordinator of Las Vegas. Um, Miles Garrett requested a trade from Cleveland on Monday morning.
Hmm.
And before we get into that, and LA has informed Cooper Cup that they will explore trading him and they would like to trade him as soon as possible.
That's big too. That's a big story too, man. Yeah. Yeah,
Two,
just
two.
because like you just came 2 year, you're 2, 3, like a couple years removed from winning the Super Bowl, and then now all of a sudden, like he wants out there looking to trade him. Like it's a weird situation going on in LA, dog.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
I
even
think
Miles Garrett too. Miles Garrett don't want to like he's wasting his years away in Cleveland.
yeah, yeah. No one wants to. I'm surprised he didn't want to leave earlier, but I do understand that everybody that says that if you've been around him, he's a very loyal guy.
Hmm.
So I understand, he wanted to try to work it out. They have pieces. It's just they can't they Cleveland just could never figure out how to put it together. And he deserves to win because he has everything else. He's defensive player of the year. He has all the sack accolades and everything like that. So yes, he deserves to go somewhere where there's winning. A Washington, a Detroit. Somewhere where he knows that he's going to be able to compete and he's going to be in the playoffs. He's not going to be basically cleaning out his locker by Thanksgiving.
Hmm. Hmm. Essentially, yeah, I completely agree with you on that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And LA, like you said, very weird what's going on over there. I kind of understand it. I guess they got Puka, so they, obviously he's the favorite right now. But
Mhm.
what was kind of surprised because I would think that they would kind of still have him so that he could still play off of Puka and everything. But who knows? We'll see what direction LA turns and who they are able to find a trade for
Hmm.
when it comes to that time. But moving on, like we said, the big game and the Big Easy. So excited. It's the rematch from 2 years ago, Kansas City and Philadelphia once again.
Hmm.
And this time we got a couple mm, Philly is younger.
Hmm. Hmm.
Defensively, they're younger. They got guys like Jalen Carter, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, younger. And they look good too. They
Yes, they
look
do.
really good. Um, Offense, we obviously know the biggest addition, the addition of the year at this point for football at least, Saquon Barkley.
Offensive player of the year. Bleh.
Hmm.
Bleh. You throw it. I'm sick to my stomach, dude. I'm sick to my stomach. I'm sick. I'm sick. But, he deserves it most definitely, offensive player of the year. But, going, into, the big game, this is a big one, man, for Philly. This is a really, really big one for them. It's a lot of like, uh conversations that's going to be surrounding Jalen Hurts. Can Saquon lead them over the hump? Can Saquon lead him over the hump? I'm
Yeah.
interested. see how guys like AJ Brown and Devontae Smith are going to perform in that defense because, we know how Kansas City, they got Patrick Mahomes, they got Travis Kelce, Kareem Hunt doing his thing. Isaiah Pacheco has come back. Um, so I'm really interested to see how that defense is going to play against that offense and that offensive line. Can they get to the quarterback of Patrick Mahomes? How is Patrick gonna, get out of that? I'm interested to see how Travis Kelce's gonna do because he hasn't been, a
As
factor,
big,
I would
yeah,
call
in
it.
the playoffs at
Yeah.
least.
I think Kansas City has relied heavily on their run game and it's been working for them. So I could see this definitely being a running battle, just because
Yeah,
of, Jalen Hurts and Saquon, and then you got Patrick with Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco too. So
yeah.
that'll be really interesting to see.
I'm very interested to see, that as well because uh they went from they went from drafting Xavier Worthy and wanting him to be the deep threat to making him basically their Rasheed Rice this
Exactly.
season, So it's more so of, putting him on slants, putting him on crossers, having him come off wide receiver screens so that he
Hmm.
can just get the ball in the open. And, he's just so fast that, he's basically going to outrun any and everybody on the field at that point. So, very interested to see, because like you said, they're willing to run the ball whenever they really want to, whether
Exactly.
that is Hunt, whether that is Pacheco, whether that is Patrick Mahomes himself.
Hmm.
So very interested to see will those runs be able to set up, those plays for
Those
Xavier
screens,
Worthy.
maybe those jet
Mm-hmm.
sweeps, like things
For the
like
jet
that to
sweep.
Xavier Worthy. Yeah.
Yep, for Hollywood Brown, going, running the go routes or like, Juju running across the middle, things of
Hmm.
that nature. Even, even Kelsey, Kelsey, he might not have come up big as of late, in probably in what the game against Buffalo, but I will say, when you need him most, his name, he
Patrick
knows
gonna
when to
find him.
show up.
Patrick
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
find him. Yeah.
Yeah. And then same thing on the for Philly, how will Jalen Hurts be? Like uh, will Kansas City stack the box, versus Saquon? Will they make Jalen Hurts make those, those tough throws to the sideline? Like how and also how will the corners of Kansas City play AJ Brown? How will they play Devontae Smith? How are they gonna press them? Are they gonna give them a cushion?
Hmm.
What is that gonna look like? So very, very interested to see what this battle could be. Love how it's the same, but it's different.
It's the same, but it's different. Yes, we got
Right.
there's key players that have added to this from 2 years ago.
From two
Yes.
years ago. Yep, yep,
Yes.
yep. So this is gonna be very, very interesting. But man, I for the game picks, I'll tell you, like I said before, like I said 2 weeks ago against Buffalo, I can't go against the man. I
One five, one
selfishly,
five, 1-5.
selfishly, like most people, I want to see the history. I want to see the three-peat,
Me
you
too.
know,
Me too.
and like I say, you just can't go against 1-5. But the run game of Philly does scare me because Chiefs have not been all that great against the run.
Yeah.
But the big game is a different game. We've seen San Fran. We've even seen Philly a couple years ago. We've seen teams go away from what works from them.
Hmm.
We've seen teams that religiously run the ball out of nowhere just stop running the ball when they get to
And
the big game.
and let me just say too, the game, what made it, what I think was a big factor in Kansas City winning 2 years ago was Jalen Hurts turnovers. So
Yes.
I'm also very interested to see can they put him in positions to where can he even put himself in positions to where he's not turning the ball over?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why I'm interested to see how the defense will cover these wide receivers because if you make Jalen Hurts hold the ball, then the likelihood of getting the turnover goes tremendously high.
Exactly. Because now he's going to try to force passes. He's going to try to force things that he didn't,
He
that's not
he might
there.
Exactly. He might force him because the clock is going to be running out, or he could be in that pocket too long for where Chris Jones, maybe a George Karlaftis comes out, or maybe even that corner blitz comes in and they're able to
Exactly.
get those sacks, put them out of field goal range, maybe get strip sacks and turn like we said, turn the ball over and give the ball to Kansas City. So it's that's going to be a real good chess match to watch.
In Kansas City, they've been through the ringer this postseason. I like through the ringer. Tough win
Yes,
against Buffalo, like
yes.
that.
Tough, a
That's
tough win
big
against Houston,
against Houston as well. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I think they're in terms of like just outside perspective, like just I think that they've a little bit more battle tested than Philly is.
Then Philly,
Because
yeah, yeah, because
Philly was
Philly,
able to blow Washington out the water. They was able to handle Detroit. So
hmm
that's big. I think
yeah,
that'll be a telling sign as well too. And
yeah,
Kansas City just knows how to win. So
yeah,
I'm going with Kansas City too. I want Patrick
yeah,
Mahomes to get his three-peat. I just want it for the history books. I want him to be able to say he did it.
yeah. No, I love how you brought up the basically, the fact that almost every game it felt like this whole season
Hmm.
it was all one score games, and it's something I had talked to my pops about. He said, that's coaching right there for the most part.
Hmm.
That's the experience and that's coaching and that's just being prepared.
Hmm.
Basically. And that shows me that, Kansas City is always prepared no matter what. And I think we've noticed that especially since last season when they went into overtime in the big game and they were prepared and San Fran was not.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, like I said before, I'm rolling with 1-5, and ain't much else to
Until
it.
proven otherwise.
Yeah, yeah, basically.
Pretty much.
Basic
Until proven
base
otherwise.
basically, but man, Sunday's gonna be fun.
Yes, it is.
Cannot wait.
Sunday, 6:30. I can't wait, brother. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know it. But let's get to the literal craziness of everything that has been going on in the NBA.
NBA, man, they ramping up. They know football about to end. They ramping up.
Yeah, shoot, they had no choice but to. Ain't nobody been talking about them much.
Exactly.
But Saturday night got one of the craziest notifications ever of all time. The Lakers trade away Anthony Davis for Luka Doncic. The full trade is the Lakers get Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris. The Mavericks get Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first round pick. The Jazz were also in this, and they get Jalen Scafino from the Lakers. They get a 2025 second round pick from the Clippers and a 2025 Mavs second round pick as well. Ugh,
Just
that right there.
literal jaw drop when I seen it. Jaw drop. Talk about just getting hit over the head and not even knowing it was coming.
Yes,
Honestly. Like
yes,
just and that's it.
yes.
Boy, oh boy. There was no rumors, there was no talks about the Mavericks even looking to trade Luca. And then all of a sudden this happens. A lot of the conversations that, have been going on for the past week, the NBA insiders like Brian Windhorst, Shams saying, from the Mavericks perspective of how they weren't they didn't believe Luca was committed to, his conditioning, his
hmm
weight watching. Um, and that's surprising to me just because of how they just got to the finals last year,
Yes,
and it wasn't even like Luca was bad during the like I could probably put more more onus on Kyrie for not living up to what we expected him to do. And then to
yeah.
trade Luca though, that tells me a lot. And that tells me like, this new management that came in, new ownership that came in, Nico Harris and the new management, they didn't want to pay him 350 million. Why pay this man
Yeah,
$47 million if we believe that you're not gonna do what's expected or do essentially what we want you to do, what they wanted him to
right,
do, you know?
right.
Um, and getting Anthony Davis is a big pickup. I liked it for the Mavericks. Just because of, he can actually play the four now. They got Gafford, they got Lively. They got
Like,
Lively. Um, So, now he doesn't have to just be a five anymore. He has dudes that will like, go down there and bang. He could play off the perimeter, come in a little bit more. I'm interested. I'm really interested from the Mavericks perspective. But of course, the news is the Lakers, dog. We like that's just
Yeah,
Luka.
that's
Like the Lakers just always somehow, some way get the biggest stars ever, ever. Talking about getting an international superstar. Like
yeah,
what? What?
yeah, yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like the one thing you can't say about the Lakers is that they don't get whatever they want because they at the end of the day they will.
And the
At
funny
the
thing
end,
is the fact that the Mavericks approached the Lakers. The Lakers
yes,
didn't approach the Mavericks. So
the Lakers.
this was just like a pile of money falling into their lap.
Yeah, the Lakers literally didn't have a reason to approach anybody. They were very content. They're always in playoff contention. They're always a threat. If they get hot, they're always they're gonna do something. They're gonna move. The
Mm-hmm.
only thing that AD kept asking for was a center, and rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
Rightfully so. I think also, like I said, going back to the Olympics, he showed that if I played next to a five, I could do a lot of more
A lot
things. I could
more
do
things. Yeah.
exactly. So, but stunning, shocking, and just, blindsided by the fact that, the Mavs would even do something like that to a franchise guy. And I feel so bad for Mavericks fans because think about it, you invest so much, and I mean so much into a young star that you're gonna have for at least a
25
decade and a
years
little
old.
more. He's only 25. He's a young guy. He just got to the finals the first time. It's okay that, that he lost. It's all right. He still showed up. He still did his thing. He still carried them to that point.
Mhm.
So for like you said, for management to basically sit there and say that we don't believe in you, we're not going to give you this money because your weight is not what we want it to be when you came into training camp and everything, and you're injured and this, that, and the third. For that to happen to such a young guy, it's baffling because like Steph said, only a few guys in this league can really go to sleep at night knowing that they could wake up and be on the same team. But it's
Mhm.
crazy because we all thought that Luka was one
That
of
would
those
be Luca.
guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so um uh, for him, I believe that this will be big, and I mean big motivation for him. Everything that I've heard, all the reports that I've heard that this will be, big motivation for him that, okay, like
They kicked you out the door
you
and they called you fat on the way out.
yeah,
It's
like
no bigger motivation than that.
yeah, like like all right, I see where y'all coming from. I see what's going on now. So like now I know like I just feel like once he gets going, he's just gonna take it out on everybody, and he's already been kicking. So the fact
And
that this is
LeBron's
even
gonna stand right there with him, and he gonna feed him, and he gonna make sure he just
he,
goes ablaze on the
he's
whole
gonna ment
NBA.
he's gonna mentor him, and he's gonna make sure that he's set up for success.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I do also like it for the Mavs as well. At first, I was questioning it to see what other things the Mavs were really gonna do because they weren't really looking too hot. But I like where it's going. I like where it's at for them.
On
A good
paper,
amount of
it's solid.
yeah, yeah, a good amount of 3-point shooters around Kyrie and AD and the rest of those big guys down low. So, like you
To
said, on
keep
paper, it
PJ
looks
Washington,
solid.
I think that was big too.
Yeah, yeah, to keep PJ was a big thing. Shoot, the fact that the Lakers were able to keep most of their team too, because Austin Reeves, I believe, Dalton Connect were supposed to be in that trade as well until and, until Rob was like, yeah, no, like why would you want to have a 25-year-old that just can't control his weight and is all over the place, keeps screaming at refs and whatnot? Like, oh my goodness, how appalling. You know what? You should just give him to us and we'll just give you Anthony Davis and Max Christie in the first round pick.
They did the Wingo.
like something like that happened. And he was like, and Harrison was probably like, you know what? You're right. Boop, let's make this trade.
Here you go.
Like,
Here you go. Take this off my hands for me. I got you, brother. I got
I
you.
know I know Adam Silver probably looked at that trade like, what in the world is this guy doing?
One man's trash is another man's treasure, bro. For real.
Man,
For real.
oh
And
man, I
this
I
is
I just can't
this is
wait.
baffling. This is more
I
baffling than KD going to the damn Warriors, dude. Like,
oh yeah. And I feel like a good amount of us kind of predicted that to happen. I know I predicted that to happen, but I wasn't happy to predict that to
hmm
happen. But yeah, this is just one of those where you just get punched in the face and you're just like, dang, bro, like where did that come from?
what? Yes, 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 yes.
Um, Moving on, De'Aaron Fox finally landed to the Spurs, Zach Lavine to the Kings. So that full trade was De'Aaron Fox and Jordan McLaughlin over to the Spurs. Kings get Zach Lavine, City Cisco, 3 first-round picks, and 3 second-round picks. Bulls get Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, and they get their own 2025 pick back from San Antonio.
Mm,
So that's a pretty good trade. De'Aaron Fox had a really good game, first game out with the Spurs. Wasn't sure how good he would be, but he had a really good triple double, a good 20 and 10 game. So looking forward to how that connection with him and Wemby will continue to progress, throughout this season and beyond. So,
hmm
they're 2, 3 games back out of that last spot for the play-in. So they can make a run, they could, the West that West basically from like 3 all the way down to like 11 is very tight.
It's super
So
tight, yeah.
they could really, so if they could make a run and along with Dallas too, getting their new additions, they're down there, they're in eighth. So if those teams can make a run, they could make some noise if they can get into the playoffs.
Hmm
The Bucks, the Bucks got rid of Chris Middleton and get Kyle Kuzma back.
hmm hmm
So that is going to be pretty good. Kyle Kuzma had a trade.
String player for them. Like, he could go get his he's a good shot creator. Like he can go get his own buckets. He could shoot the three. I think that and he's out of the purgatory that is Washington. So he could play,
Right,
he's competitive now. He got Dame, he got Giannis, and so hopefully he'll be someone that them both can rely on too.
right, yeah, because they needed that third guy to come in after them and
Yeah,
pick
because
up pick up some of that slack.
it wasn't like Chris Middleton was doing much, in comparison to what he was doing when they won the chip, getting injured and whatnot, just hasn't been the same since.
Yeah, that just happens, when you get injured and also as you get older,
Older,
you
yeah.
start to slow down a bit. But I know sad to see him go, but also good that they're able to get something good back in return.
hmm
Jimmy Butler traded to the Warriors and has also agreed to sign a 2-year, 111 million extension, which is pretty big. So that full trade is Warriors get Butler, the Heat get Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, and PJ Tucker, along with a 2025 first round pick protected from the Warriors. The Jazz get Dennis Schroeder, who ended up actually moving over to Detroit and
hmm
then was also somewhere else too in between that, I believe. And the Pistons will also get Lindy Waters the third and Josh Richardson.
Yeah, I mean, hey man, Jimmy got out and he was able to get out.
Yeah.
Going to the Warriors, organization like that with that culture, definitely a different culture than the Heat culture that we've always been talking about, we have
Mm-hmm.
been talking about for the past couple years. Um, but yeah, this one is definitely another really, really interesting one. I'm interested to see how he's gonna, play alongside Steph and Draymond. I think him and Draymond will be a really good duo, I can't lie. Just because of like, the screen opportunities, them both being able to pass, hit, Draymond being able to find, people in their right spots.
Right.
I think it really just comes down to Jimmy, especially, if they can make it to the play-in playoffs, whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
him, producing him, just being that guy that can stand alongside Steph,
Right.
and be consistent about it as well too. But I do have one question.
Mm.
How long until he's not happy here?
How long until he's not happy here? Well, He signed a 2 year extension, so he's got to be happy for the next couple of years, I
Man, he
say.
better be playing with Steph, but I'm just saying he better not be trying to come in and blow this organization up, brother.
Well, he can't because Curry's got that on lock. So
Exactly. Curry better in check. On yo, first day you here, brother. Hey, we having a
I, I
conversation.
I do like the trade for both the Warriors and the Heat.
Yes, because they
Warriors, you know,
get
they get
Andrew Wiggins. Yeah.
yeah, they get a good addition and Butler, you know, as you just explained, you know, it's gonna add another dimension. I don't think it will move much. It doesn't move me as much because they didn't get anything else back. You know, they don't get another good big man. You know,
Which they
you
need.
know, another yeah, probably another good wing to come in after. Well, actually, no, they still have Kaminga, so we'll see how that is when he comes back. But I feel like they still need a couple more things, but we'll see. The buyout market is still in play as
Hmm.
well, so we'll see. We'll see who's going to be up there. But the Warriors, we'll see. I feel like they should probably figure out a way to make another move or so. For
Even
the
if they
Heat,
got like a
though.
Nurkic or somebody like that, like you know.
Exactly, exactly. But the Heat, though, I do like it a lot for the Heat. You get
Hmm.
Andrew Wiggins, you get a Kyle Anderson. If I'm mistaken, yeah, you get a Kyle Anderson. But Wiggins, I think Wiggins is gonna do great down there. Really good, you know, offensively and defensively. I feel like him being on the Warriors brought a lot of confidence back to him. And I think he's gonna be able to free roam and do what he really wants to do when he gets down to Miami.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Definitely a number
Um,
two option behind Bam, and you got Tyler Hero
with
behind
Hero,
him there
yeah.
too. But
Hmm.
I think this elevates Andrew Wiggins even more. I think
Yep.
that if he plays well, they could make a little like a good little run or something. You never
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. You like you said, you never know. You never know. Pelicans trade Brandon Ingram to the Raptors for Bruce
Hmm.
Brown Jr., Kelly Olynyk, and one first round pick and one second round pick.
Hmm.
Big time for the Raptors. They need something like this. You know, they just need somebody to come in and help out Scotty Barnes
Hmm.
for the most part.
I I I'm a little iffy on it just because I've been iffy on Brandon Ingram for a couple of years now because to me he's just not consistent enough. Like
Right.
I can't find him when we need him.
Yeah, yeah. He's skilled. He's skilled as in
Very, very.
as a lot of these guys. But like you said, you know, he just has to during the big moments. It's like, well, where are you?
Don't go under the lights, brother. You have to be the lights now at this point.
There
And
you
you,
go.
you got a
There you
young boy
go.
like Scotty with you. There's no reason why, like, you guys can't work things out, you know?
Right, right. Yeah. So that one's gonna be interesting. Let's see. The Hawks trade DeAndre Hunter to the Cavs for Karis LeVert, Georges Niang, 3 second round picks and 2 pick swaps. The Cavs needed this.
Yeah.
The Cavs definitely needed this. You got Garland, Mitchell, Hunter, Mobley, Allen. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You
Yeah.
need this. You
Mm-hmm.
need this.
Deion Hunter,
You're
he's a good three, like he's a very good three, honestly.
a good three, a two-way player, can really play on both sides of the ball.
Hmm.
Was starting to, you know, he was really starting to hit his groove coming off the bench with Atlanta. You know, basically coming in for like 15 points a game. So I'm very interested to see how he will work with the Cavs, and I think he'll do
Hmm.
just
Hmm.
fine. And
No,
another guy who could shoot the three. He also could create his own shot a little bit too. So yeah,
yeah, most definitely, most definitely. Karis LeVert, I feel like he just be all over the place sometimes, but that's
yeah,
neither.
yeah.
We can talk about that later. Nah.
And I love Karis LeVert. You know, sometimes he'll give you great games. You know, 15, 20 off the bench. Sometimes it's like, bro, where you at?
Yes, yes,
You know.
yes.
So
A little bit more of
so yeah,
a stable person in Hunter with the Cavs right now.
yes, yes.
Yes.
Another big addition that the Bucks got was Kevin Porter Jr. They had
Hmm.
got him just at the end of at the end of the deadline. Um, the Pacers trade for James Wiseman and some cash to the Raptors. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. The
Lakers
Grizzlies.
No,
Oh, the
no, no,
Lakers
I was
getting
gonna say the
Mark
Lakers, but
Williams.
yep, yep,
And getting
yep.
Mark
You were
Williams
talking
trading
about
off
that. How you like that?
Dalton. Yeah, Dalton Connect. I really do like that. Needed a center badly, and Mark Williams is averaging almost 17 points a game, 10 rebounds. So and very long, agile, active. As long as he can stay healthy, I think he could do some work. He could
Okay.
do some work down there.
Hmm.
If you ever watched a couple of Charlotte games, you'll see how wild he is on those boards.
And
Um,
that's what LA needs though.
that's what, yep, that's what they need. They need somebody to be on command down there.
Hmm.
Last one that we'll get into because we're running out of time. The Grizzlies trade Marcus Smart and a 2025 first round pick to the Wizards in a multi-team trade that sends two second round picks to Memphis. Wizards are also sending Marvin Bagley the third to the Grizzlies, and Johnny Davis will be sent down there as well.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's Wizards trying to make some moves, trying to get some draft picks, trying to get out of the bottom of the East, basically trying to get the bottom out of the bottom of the league, period. So
Purgatory, yes.
yeah, like you said,
Basketball purgatory.
yes, like you said, Kyle's finally got a purgatory. He's with an actual team. Yay.
Ooh. No, but no,
But
Washington definitely like it got a buffer team at the moment right now. So
yeah.
it's just all about acquiring draft capital, using those draft picks to get players, using those draft picks to, trade and different things like that. So I think they're in a way better spot than they were at the beginning of the season.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Good work by the front office right now.
Mhm.
It takes a minute to get to build yourself up, but I think they're doing it the right way now.
I'll be honest, like all of these front offices were hitting before
Yeah,
trade deadline.
everybody was hitting. The only
There's
one,
not one really bad trade. I don't like,
I feel like everybody kind of got what they wanted and what they needed as of right now. So yeah, coming into the second half of the season is going to be real interesting to watch. The only team I'd say that didn't really do anything was what's their faces was Denver. That was the only team I didn't hear from.
hmm
The Trailblazers was another one, but I don't think they have much going on over
They don't
there.
have
But
much to work with, yeah.
yeah. But the Nuggets, I was surprised. I know that they don't want to touch that luxury tax because it's already high. But I was very surprised that they're not trying to maximize Jokic and Murray and Westbrook in them. So
Another team real quick, Philadelphia 76ers. I'm
yeah,
surprised that
yeah, yeah. I'm surprised they didn't.
they
The
didn't
only
seem
thing
like
that
they
they
were
did.
interested in getting anybody.
The only thing that they did was trade Caleb Martin.
But like at that point it's shoulder shrug.
Yeah, it's whatever at that point. So
I just
very
think they put themselves in a bad spot, maybe getting Paul George earlier and then Paul George not really working out the way that they wanted to. And then
right,
of course Joel Embiid not working out at all really, you know.
right.
So
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
see about them too.
Yeah, very very interested to see how that works out. But
Mhm.
yeah, we've come to the end of a very very action-packed and informational packed episode. So,
Yeah, definitely,
yeah,
dude.
yeah,
Definitely, dude.
that was that was
A lot going on, but we here to cover it. You already know.
yes, yes. More coming in next week. So, stick with us. We'll have the our reaction to the big game. We'll also, see what goes on, who's gonna be playing, who's not. And also it's also All-Star weekend coming up next weekend. So
Mhm.
we'll be talking about that too. But till then, I'm your host, Cam Silver,
I'm your co-host, Kyle Silver.
and this is the Silver Boys.
Thank you. Thank you.